So yeah, this is pretty crazy. We are moving to Hey everyone, it's Natalie from This and Nat, or all of This and Nat over on Instagram. As you can already see, this is going to be a little bit of a different video than my normal cleaning and organizational videos, but I need the chance to catch you up, tell you everything that has been going on in the past several weeks, maybe a couple of months. I feel like things have been pretty crazy since Thanksgiving, and I haven't had a consistent video schedule for a while, but I'm gonna explain all of that in just a moment. So you may have noticed that I've been a little MIA here on YouTube and Instagram because I've been keeping a giant secret. We are actually moving. I'm gonna tell you all about it here in this video. I'm also gonna give you a staged house tour because I thought it might be interesting to see how we took our house from what it looked like with the house tour that was the last video I put out, all the way to having it staged. And now our home is almost completely empty. We are selling everything, all of our furniture, and just keeping the personal items, our clothes, and some essentials, and we are moving across the country to New York City. We're here in Texas right now, in Dallas, and we have been living in our 3-story townhome for 2 years. I just put a house tour finally right before we actually staged it and put it on the market to sell, because I've been promising I was gonna do a house tour, and I really wanted a house tour for us personally so we could remember the first home that we lived in as a married couple. And it's been good to us for 2 years, but it is time for bigger and better things. So I am super, super excited about our big move to New York City. As you can see, I'm sitting here in a pretty empty room. This was our bedroom. Behind me used to be a king bed and our bedside tables, and everything is gone. We've been selling it. We are just pretty much starting over in New York City because we know we're gonna have a much smaller space. This is actually a 2,200 square foot home, and we know that we're not gonna be able to have all that furniture in New York City. We're probably looking at about an 800 square foot, 1-bedroom apartment. We don't know quite yet. We're actually going this week to go and explore. So if you want to follow along on all of those adventures, make sure you're following me on Instagram at all of this and that, and I will kind of share some things along the way, what it's going to be like moving from Texas to New York City and hunting for apartments and all of that kind of stuff. I am extremely excited. So let's first talk about why the move to New York City. So as many of you might know, I am actually a teacher here in Texas. I'm not a classroom teacher. I am something called an interventionist. So I work with students on like a 1-to-5 basis. Like I'm the 1 in 5 students, ratio of 1-to-5. I don't work 1-to-5. And so I have been doing that for about 4 years. Before that, I taught in a classroom for 3 years. So I'm in my 7th year of teaching, and I still can't believe I was teaching for that long. I never thought that I would teach for that long. And it's always kind of been on the back of my mind to do something different than teaching. It's been an amazing job. I've loved my job. I actually really love the people that I work with in my school. I love working with kids, but it's just never been my full passion. And I started a YouTube channel a few years ago that's not this one. I started a knitting channel. It's called Nitty Natty. So if you're a knitter or crocheter, you might find that one interesting. And that just became like my full-time passion project. I love working on that. I love making the videos. I design knit and crochet patterns. So like I'll design a scarf, I'll write up the instructions on how to do it, and then I will sell the instructions or a pattern to people. And it's just become like a whole new thing. And then, enter pandemic this past year, I thought, you know what else I really love? Cleaning and organizing. Like I truly love it. And I wanted to start another YouTube channel. I tried out a budgeting video on my knitting channel, and it just was like, didn't feel right? It didn't fit in. And I was like, maybe I need another channel for this outlet. And so pandemic hits, right? And I have all of a sudden, I'm working from home and I have more time. And so I thought, why not go ahead and start it now? Because I was planning to wait for the summertime to start basically this and that. And I started it and it just grew really fast and has been nothing but a blessing for me and super fun, another great creative outlet. And so then the dream really started within me to somehow, with these two different businesses that I have. So I have this and that where I'm talking to you now, and I do have my other one, Nitty Natty, and both of those are just something that I really love doing. I probably work on those more than I work on my real job, and I am at my real job. And I say real job because I'm employed by an employer. I go to work every day from 7 to 4 o'clock, okay? So that's what I mean by real job. I know everything that I'm doing is also a real job. But I just started to, make that my goal, to make that full time. And also, Kent and I started talking about, well, when this dream becomes true, like maybe we can move somewhere else for a little while. He's never lived outside of Texas. I'm originally from Tennessee, and we're just like not really tied to either place. That's not true. We're definitely tied to Texas here. We have a lot of friends here in Texas. It's, like I said, where my husband grew up, where my mother-in-law lives, and probably going to be our forever home in the future. But right now we don't have kids. We don't have plans to have kids for a couple years, if that. And so it's the perfect time in our lives to dream big and try something. So we started looking at different places we wanted to live. New York City was not the first place. We were exploring a lot of different ideas because with Kent working from home and with me potentially one day being able to quit teaching and pursue YouTube full time, we were like, well, we can go wherever we want. Like, we have this unique opportunity to do whatever we want, move wherever we want, and be somewhere where we want to be, even if it's temporary. And I think definitely Kent was the one who suggested New York City because I've never been to New York City, like ever. And so I'm gonna be going for the very first time this week. And for the very first time going, I'm gonna be picking out apartments. And I've done this before. When I moved to Dallas, I had never been to Dallas before. I literally moved here with my stuff and a job and had to find a roommate and a place in a week. And you know what? It worked out. I've been here for 7 years. So I am not really like nervous or anything. I'm just excited about the opportunity. So we decided that, you know what? Maybe New York could be realistic. It was a dream at first. We started watching YouTube videos. I have to say, shout out to Cash Jordan. You might have even seen his YouTube channel before. He started posting videos sometime last March, and his channel has just grown and grown and grown. And so honestly, it's a big thanks to him that we're moving to New York City because he provided so many videos of apartment tours, and it was the thing that really made me go, okay, this is possible. Because at first, here I am comfy in my Texas-sized home, and then I start looking at these teeny tiny kitchens in New York City, and I'm like, there's no way that I'm going to do that. Like, we're not gonna go backwards in our lives. We already own a home, we're married, why would we then go to apartment renting? And that, watching those videos really helped convince me that this is something that I'm excited to do. So we decided, yes, let's make it happen. And then in early January, we got together with a realtor, listed our house, and got ready to sell it. So we're in the midst of selling our home right now. We should actually be completely out of here in early March. Truth be told, it's been a little bit crazy. It's our first time selling a home, and we did have another contract that the financing for the buyer fell through. And so we thought we were gonna be out on this coming Friday in February, and then that didn't work out, and we were disappointed. And I was at work. My mother-in-law's been so helpful. My husband, they scrambled to get our house back ready because we've been selling furniture. We've been packing stuff. We were getting ready to move out in a week. And then all of a sudden, our house has to go back on the market. They worked super hard. I think we found out at like 10 a.m. that our buyer fell through. And by 5 p.m., the house was ready and we had our first showing, and we got a couple offers that were even better than our original offer. And so I just think the timing of things, you know, it's not in our control, but it does tend to work out in our favor. And so, you know, we're literally still in that process. Stay tuned, but hopefully prayers appreciated, everything works out great. But yeah, that's the thing. We're just chasing a dream because we can. And yes, we know we are very, very lucky. So I am still at my teaching job. I'm going to be doing some working from home for a while. And then when we get back from our time in New York City apartment hunting, I will then, once we know when we're moving, I will kind of settle on like an end date with my job. But I am not going to be completing the school year. I am going to be you know, ending that job. I hate saying quitting because I do not like being a quitter, but the opportunity is right. You got to jump on it. And so I will be quitting my teaching job and then able to pursue YouTube full time. And I am so excited about it. So by this point in the video, you guys already know that we are moving. So I thought it'd be really fun to give you a quick tour of our house as it is staged. We actually just did a house tour before we packed everything up and staged it for selling. A house tour that I had meant to do for the 2 years that we've been living here. So I'll make sure that that one is linked if you want to go check out what it really looked like while we're living here. But now it is staged, and I think it's just fun to look at a house staged. Honestly, the way it looks now is kind of how I wish we had it the whole time we were living here. It's very minimal, very tidy, and of course it kind of looks like no one lives here because we haven't been living here. We've been living at my mother-in-law's during our selling process and moving, which has been such a blessing. More on that later. But I wanted to give you a tour. It's just little me here today with my little tools here. So I'm gonna give you the best tour that I can. We're starting right here in the entryway of our home. There is now nothing on the walls at all. Everything is pretty much gone. That's not true. There's not nothing, but we've taken down everything that we did have. We did have a table right here. That is gone. And now we have this big open space when you walk in, which is super nice. This is my yarn room / office. And as you can see, it's pretty similar. I actually took apart my desk and took half of it over to my mother-in-law so that I could work there. I'm gonna be bringing the rest of it over today because I need my whole desk. But took things down, you know, took those calendars off the wall there just to make it look a little bit more clean and everything. And then check this out. Look at my little yarn wall. It is so empty. It looks so different for staging. There we go. Sorry, I'm not very good at this tool, but everything is just nice and empty and clean, which is so crazy. But honestly, I really like the look of this, minus my desk and my yarn not being there. Okay, so walking over here is our little guest bathroom. It's not that different. We decided to put our cute little, here, let me show you. I decided to put our cute little who gives a crap toilet papers out because our realtor said you should always leave a full roll of toilet paper. And since the wrappers are so cute, I put them out like that. I'll show you the closet once we get upstairs. It honestly looks like our house is an ad for Who Gives a Crap. It's not, they're not paying me anything, but I do really like their toilet paper. Okay, so here we are. Here's a little thing that I'm using. Look, watch this. I'm not very good at it. Oh, see? There we go. I'm not very good at using this thing, but it does make everything a little steadier. But here's the guest bathroom, pretty much as it was because we are pretty minimal, so we just got to kind of leave it. And we took the rug off the floor. I don't think I've ever shown our little backyard, so let me just show you that here real quick. Back in the house, let's head upstairs to the main floor. The guest room is honestly pretty similar to how it was before. We just had to like take down a TV here. We ended up moving one of the bedside tables just to make the room appear a little bit larger. We moved one of the lamps from the living room into here because it's a way cooler lamp. But other than that, this room is pretty much the same as before. Hello again. Our guest bathroom also is pretty much the same, just in staging and everything. You know, take away the trash can, make it look like you don't live here, and toilet paper. I think it looks really, really cute. But other than that, this bathroom is the same. I don't know if I've ever showed this angle of the living room before. Normally, right here, there's a little coffee table that matches our other furniture. We've just never known what to do with it. During Christmas time, it holds our village. During Halloween, it holds our pumpkins. But other than that, it's just like a gathering spot. So that's in the garage right now because it was definitely making this area here like super cluttered. And then we had a side table or an end table there, and we took that out too so that this space was super, super open for when you walked into the living room. Then our living room is exactly how it was before, minus Toaster's basket over there, and of course that end table that I already talked about. Everything else is the same. This is exactly how our couch and rug and everything looked. So, you know, I feel like good job for us. It was like already pretty minimal. But then if you take a look here, we ended up switching out our TV for this one that's about 10 inches smaller because our big one looked ridiculous in here. And then we just kind of like, you know, simplified things, took Toaster's toys out of there. But other than that, the living room is really similar to how we were actually living here. Swinging around now to the kitchen. The kitchen has more stuff out than when we were living here. So I guess we were more minimal than staging. But of course we have like beautiful flowers and lemons and everything out. We had to put away our dish soap and everything. And then I got a new plant. My little aloe is aloe vera, and I'm going to take her with me when we move. We put some other decorations out and like my coffee stuff out. But all of that is gonna go away here in a second because I'm about to declutter this kitchen since we have now sold our house. So this was all just for staging, but I think it looks really nice. And then of course we had to take everything off the fridge. We took our toaster oven off of here. The pantry though, you guys, I didn't have to do anything to my pantry. I don't think people really care that much about it, honestly. But you've seen my oh, that's not true. I took stuff off of the top just to make it look emptier. But other than that, the pantry got to stay because it's nice and organized, and it's a great big pantry anyway. So I think this one, you know, people are definitely gonna love that. Swinging around to our dining room, you're gonna be shocked here because look at all this space on the floor. We had two refrigerators, a mini fridge and a wine fridge over here, and tons of like, it was organized, but it was like messy, like our different kinds of drinks. And so all of that has been cleaned up. We had to take out two dining room chairs just to make it look a little cleaner and simpler. But now it looks super nice and empty in here. This is what I'm saying when I wish our house looked like this while we were living here. This brings me so much peace. And this plant we had in our kitchen before, now it's in here. Our little bar over here looks super, super nice. And then we actually have a little patio out here that we've never ever used. So let's check that out. Okay, finally, let's head on upstairs to the top floor. This is what I mean when I say our house looks like an ad for Who Gives a Crap toilet paper. I think that is so funny. I mean, I wanted them all like facing the correct way, even though this closet is a little overbearing, but I wanted them all having the labels at least facing the same way, and we achieved that. All right, swinging around here, you are not gonna believe my husband's office space. I will put in a clip here of what it looked like before. He did the same thing with his IKEA shelf and emptied it out. Made it look really good. I'm out of breath from going up the stairs. And he just left his desk nice and clean and open, kind of pushed it over so that the whole room, you can just see like that this room is really a great space. It has a nice big closet over here, which you've seen me organize before. And now it's pretty empty because we decided not to put our decorations boxes back in there after Christmas. Instead, they're in the garage. So the space is nice and open for once. And we have one more patio space that I don't think I even showed in the tour. So let's head out here and see it. It's super foggy today, but actually right over there is a real lake. I mean, it's still a man-made lake, but it's not like the pond that we have. And on a clear day, you can see that lake. So it's a really great view. Okay, we're walking back across the hall to the master suite. I am going to miss having this space. So right away, you can see we used to have a dresser right here. We moved that to open up the space because even though it's a large room, you don't want it to be too crowded in here. We finally cleaned up the ceiling fan that was on the floor. There's another chair in here. So we now just have like one nice little reading space, cleared our books off the bench and put the dresser over there. And of course took the TV off because that looked pretty cluttered. Our bed got to stay the same. They really liked all the neutrals we had in here, so that made things pretty simple. I think my mother-in-law found this pillow. Yeah, she found that pillow for us to add on here. And then these black pillows are actually the ones I use for Halloween. They're just flipped. So yeah, everything looks really, really good in here. Nice and clean and tidy. Okay, walking into our bathroom, we already kept things simple, but we simplified it even more, just kind of making it look like spa-like. And we obviously don't want our toothbrushes and other things here out on the counter. This cute little tray here was just a nice little touch. And then it has made it so easy to keep if we were staying here, we would be doing this for sure, but we have our shower stuff in little caddies. And so we were just able to take those over to my mother-in-law's, leaving the shower absolutely empty and clean. All right, last space here. Let me get the light on. Our closet. So I don't have that many clothes. So I have brought most of my clothes over to my mother-in-law's, but we also, cooperate with me here. There we go. We also cleared off most of the top shelf just to make things seem very, very open and spacious. The clothes in here are just kind of spread out. My husband did a lot of decluttering. I'm really, really proud of him for what he was able to accomplish. So the closet now, you can really see it for what it is, which is a nice giant space. So let me know what questions you have for me about this big move. If you have like literal moving questions or questions about how we're doing like the downsizing. I do have some decluttering videos coming up, but I will say videos are gonna be a little bit out of order. Like you're gonna see me do videos in my kitchen because I filmed it several weeks ago before we actually packed the kitchen, just because I have been so crazy busy that I haven't had the opportunity to edit those videos. So they're kind of going to be coming like out of order, but in like, what is today, Monday? On Saturday, from like Saturday to next Monday, we are gonna be quarantined in a hotel for 3 days. So I'm gonna have some time to get some editing done. I'm gonna have time to answer your questions. I'm gonna get back into Instagram and YouTube because I don't have to keep this secret anymore. It was really hard to like film videos or film Instagram stories or talk about my day when we weren't even living here. We've actually been living with my mother-in-law. That's something that I didn't say yet, but we've had the opportunity to not even live in our house while we're selling it, and that has made things so much easier. I know that's a unique situation for us, but it's been really, really great. So I'll also give you like a little tour of how we've set ourselves up over there. We've been living there for 3 weeks or a month, I think, and we're gonna stay there until we move. So that we can completely empty this place and just be ready to go when our like apartment lease starts and everything. So yeah, let me know what questions you have about moving, about decluttering, downsizing, about how we're doing that, questions about, you know, where we're gonna live, what life is like in New York City. Hello, I don't know yet. It's gonna be interesting. Any of those questions that you have, make sure you're following me on Instagram at all of this and that, because I'm going to be sharing with you things as we're seeing them and as we're making decisions and just keeping you posted and everything. I am so excited about this next stage for us, getting the opportunity to move because we want to kind of start a new chapter in our life and our marriage, and all of it is just going to be so exciting and such a big change. If you're from New York City and you've lived outside of New York City before and then you move there, let me know, because I'm sure there's going to be some things I find hard to adjust to. I am a Southern girl. I was born in Georgia, I grew up in Tennessee, and I've lived in Texas for the past 7 years. So this is going to be different for me, though it will not be my first time living on East Coast time. I did live in Knoxville, like when I went to college for 4 years. And I have to say, I like Central Time the best. So we'll probably be back. Anyway, that's it for today. There's a life update. Look out for more videos coming soon. I do have a lot of really great stuff coming up, and I do promise it will come out eventually. As you can see, things have been a little hectic over here, but let me know your questions and I'll do my best to answer them. Bye.